We just got done watching Marty Supreme, and it got me wondering how close to the true story is this. Turns out it's not that close, but there is some interesting aspects of the real life story of Marty. So we're going to get into that today in our Real versus Real. Welcome back to the Clean Slate Video Club. I'm Carson Phillips. That guy over there is Daniel Garza. And yeah, we're doing what we call a real versus real. We talk about different movies and discuss what their true story is. We've done a lot of horror films, and now this is our second sports movie, if you want to call this a sports movie. But do you want to read the log line to them?
Yep. All right. So Marty Mouser, a young man with a dream no one respects, goes to hell and back in pursuit of greatness.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen this movie yet, it might still be in theaters, but I know it's on streaming. You can rent it. You can buy the
it's just on digital right now, but it's not on any. I don't think it's on any service yet.
Okay. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, I don't know why you're watching this video and why you haven't seen the movie, but it is the latest from Josh Safdie. The Safdie brothers did get a divorce, so they are making movies separately. There's more to that I won't talk about today. But let's get into the real story, the real Marty. His real name is Marty Reisman, so they did change his name for this. But he was born in 1930 in New York City. What?
I was going to say, I looked it up, and they're like... No, I was going to say, I looked it up, and I was like, what's the difference here? And it said his name is Marty Reisman, but in the film, it's Marty Mouser. But I was legitimately thinking it was switched. So in real life, it was Marty Mouser, and in the movie, it was Marty Reisman. But I was like, no, it's not. So I was like all bent out about that because I was confused.
He was born in 1930s New York. That he does have a different name than the movie gives him. He was born to Russian Jewish immigrant parents, so kind of similar to what we see in the movie. He kind of grew up poor on the Lower East Side of New York. Again, pretty similar to the movie from what you can see. I mean, the movie's not giving you his childhood as much.
Right.
You see that in real life, his mom was really only in the picture. Same thing seems to be true in the movie. And yeah, he kind of had a hard childhood. It was unstable. Sometimes they had food, sometimes they didn't. He had issues with like panic attacks as a kid as well. And eventually he did find table tennis at his local community center, and that got him kind of back on his feet, so to speak, or on his feet for the first time. He was able to gain confidence and kind of become this over-the-top performer and athlete, really. Interestingly enough, in Manhattan at the time, table tennis was like the big Jewish and immigrant sport, which is funny because I feel like does anybody care about table tennis anymore?
Well, that's insane because I have literally my own ping pong table in my garage right now.
Okay, Marty, are you getting ready for the championship?
And I have orange balls. They're not Marty Supreme balls,
so you can follow them better.
I can see it better.
Yeah, yep. That is an interesting thing, is because they would wear all white and you could see it better against the. I don't know. I
wish they made that more of a thing.
It's not a big part of the movie, unfortunately, even though it's a big part of the marketing, which is also interesting. But yeah, so Marty did grow up, in the mean streets of New York City, and the film keeps those Jewish roots, those New York roots. He did work at a shoe shop at one point, but it's a little bit different in the movie how it's handled. And yeah, it was kind of, I guess he worked more later in life. And it wasn't like his childhood job, as this kind of shows. And yeah, the movie just kind of changes a lot of those early details to be more metaphorical, I guess, to kind of take inspiration from it.
Okay, so when does this, I guess, for Marty become more than just table tennis, and it becomes because it was his way to kind of have therapy, but when did he start becoming a hustler, I guess?
Yeah, so at 13, he was already a really good table tennis player. He won the City Junior Championship, and he began playing at Lawrence's, which is a Broadway table tennis club. Eventually, he kind of became more of a non-recreational thing for him, and he started doing high-stakes gambling. So in the movie, we do see him and Tyler, the Creator, kind of hustle some guys.
Such a good actor in this.
He's surprisingly great in this movie, and I would love to see him actually act more. I think he'd play a good villain in something someday. But yeah, so what ends up happening is he does start kind of gambling and using that as a way to make money. In the film, it's kind of just seems like normal people he goes against, but he was doing this against like doctors and diplomats and like stockbrokers, betting like significant money. And he used like, trash talking as kind of a strategy. And I think the movie shows this pretty well too, is he would like lose kind of early on, increase the bet, and then eventually just crush people, which the movie I think shows
classic
very well.
Hustling.
Yeah, exactly. It never ended in him getting, chased out of... Well, maybe he was chased out of some of these establishments, but he wasn't, at a gas station that blew up and all this crazy stuff.
Gunned down and stuff like that.
Yeah, so they amped it up for the movie. He did earn the nickname The Needle due to his thin kind of look and sharp features, as well as his playing kind of being the same way. And they would say he would constantly needle opponents. But yeah, in the movie, the trash talk is a big part of it. Throughout the movie, really, it's not even just in the hustling scene. So I think they just kind of took this attitude and like hyped it up for the movies. Kind of what the sense I got from it.
Yeah. So at what point does he become like big time and like becomes more than just like a street hustler and becomes like an actual athlete in the sport?
Yeah. So in the movie, we don't really get to see him go big time. Like we do kind of, he gets close, doesn't really get to where in real life he did, because he reached greater heights in real life. But
interesting.
He did win the 1949 British Open, and he represented the United States, all over the world. He won over 20 different major titles, so pretty significant for him. And yeah, he was like a legitimate world-class competitor. He wasn't, the movie really, you could even think of it as just like a snapshot of like an early period in his career. Like if there was going to be more movies or a longer movie, he would get even further up in his career. He did clash with officials quite a bit in real life as well, had some issues with them. He did run up hotel bills at tournaments because he thought he deserved better than he was getting. So similar to the movie, actually. Different hotel like in real life than in fiction, but regardless, the spirit was the same. He did get suspended and fined as well a couple times. So he was kind of like the bad boy of table tennis, which is hilarious.
Heavily depicted in the movie.
Yeah, you don't think there'd be a bad boy at table tennis? Is there like a bad boy of I don't know, like chess and D&D and stuff? I guess there is. Although
I think there is of one of chess.
Yeah, he like even was. There's like magazines he was featured in, some really cool stuff. He was not considered like a clean cut guy though. He was just kind of scummy, I guess, in some ways people would probably describe him. Lots of swagger though, and the film kind of just simplifies all of this into like a shorter timeline and kind of makes it seem like a bigger come up, I guess, early on instead of like a lifetime of it. But eventually, he did become a household name in some ways for those that were following table tennis. There are some other characters in the movie that show up, like we have Mr. Wonderful as Milton Rockwell. That's not a real person necessarily in this in real life, but he does kind of represent, wealthy businessmen and other people he probably did intermingle with. And yeah, it just kind of shows like tension between, gaining money, your legacy, and also just having ego. So that was more of like a added to the movie from what it feels like to me to kind of be more like to grow the themes of what we're watching, right?
Right. Okay, so then at what point does he, because the movie does depict this where he was on top and then he like kind of settles. So did he actually play or like travel with the Harlem Globetrotters, and then why? Yeah,
so he did totally play with the Harlem Globetrotters. You can actually watch footage of this. Maybe we'll try to put it on the screen for you guys to see. But that was like, in the late 1940s, and honestly, even through the early 1950s, he did. And it wasn't like this shameful thing. The movie kind of portrays it as like, oh man, I have to go do
settling.
This. But he was kind of into it. He liked the showmanship aspect and performing in front of these massive crowds. he used like frying pans to play ping pong, shoes and stuff instead of regular paddles. And yeah, so it was kind of like the theatrical aspect of his personality, not just his sportsmanship side. And it's kind of similar to his hustling, which was like playing up, this character that he was in real life. So yeah, the movie I feel like could have done way more with that aspect, but I guess that could have been a different movie because they kind of used it more as, again, like a theme to kind of trace kind of through that. His ambition in the movie was bigger than, being a part of the Harlem Globetrotters. Sure. But in real life, I think he needed it to make money, and I think he also enjoyed the performance aspect.
Okay, so what actually changed the game? Like, what was the real turning point here?
Yeah, so kind of off of the Harlem Globetrotters run in 1952, he did go to the World Championships, and there was a Japanese player, so different name in the movie. In the movie, his name is Koto Endo, and in real life, his name was Hiroshi Sato, if I'm pronouncing that right. And they did start using the sponge rubber paddles, which is kind of shown in the movie with the different like holding technique and everything. And those were actually a game changer. So for those of you that follow like ping pong, you probably already know about this, but the equipment change kind of allowed them to spin the ball differently. The sound was like almost like silent, and the speed. So like whatever the other player was doing, it would give back to them times 2 is kind of how it was described to me. So it changed table tennis. But Reisman did become kind of a figurehead for the traditionalist movement of ping pong. Despite him being the bad boy, he was like, no, I'm only going to use a traditional hard bat, and resisted the sponge like paddles altogether. And it kind of made it like part of his philosophical brand, I guess, that he was still playing with the original paddle. And yeah, so in the movie they did make the rivalry more about like personal kind of revenge. It was different, and kind of like that loss was like this big humiliation for him. That's not necessarily what it seemed like happened in real life. That was just like taking like bits and pieces of history to make the narrative, I think, more interesting for people. But there was this big change in Japan, and he did have some big losses here and there, but it wasn't like this one guy that defeated him and changed his whole career.
Right.
Now, there is this aspect of this Holocaust survivor in the film, right? Yeah.
Right, that's what I was going to ask. It feels so random, but like, why is it here?
Yeah, he is based on a real guy. I'm not even going to try to say his name. You want to try to say his name? Do you see his name on there?
Yeah.
Let me hear
No, I'm not going to try.
Okay. Yeah, he is based on a real Polish Jewish table tennis champion. Okay. And he did survive Auschwitz, and he did play for the Nazis, like to entertain them. That all happened, but he does kind of predate Reisman, and I guess the idea of like Jewish people being very involved in table tennis kind of comes from that as well. Like you have 2 very famous table tennis players that are Jewish in the early days of the sport, and the film kind of uses him in a similar way to kind of make it seem like, hey, there's more than just gambling to table tennis. It's not just like this hustler thing. Like there's the aspect of it being, prestigious and like on the world stage, it's important. Whereas Marty, he got that part of it, but he obviously brings in like the showmanship in both real life and in the movie.
So back to Marty though, like it shows that he is depicted as this like, hustler, gambler, and then eventually criminal.
Yeah.
Was he actually breaking laws, or was that just part of, film production amping it up?
Yeah, I mean, the movie goes way overboard with some of the the crimes.
Like it feels like it's what is the one, Uncut Gems? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Hardcore.
Yeah, the movie, in real life, it's kind of different. Like, there wasn't this whole bathtub scene where he fell and crushed this dude and stole his dog and money and like all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Did not happen. I feel like that could have happened to the real Marty, though, in spirit. Because he was definitely playing around with some dangerous people here and there. But there are stories of him, like, smuggling goods during international travel. So, a little bit lower level crime, in my opinion. But things like gold bars and luxury items. And he did he does fly back on a military plane in the movie. And he did actually use military flights to bypass customs in real life. That was kind of his strategy, which is kind of interesting. Wow. And he'll admit to this. He also, like, towards the end of his life, he defended the hustling and stuff 100%. Like, he doesn't care. He didn't care at all.
Yeah.
He liked being known as somebody with money. He liked being perceived as a famous person. And, yeah, the film kind of shows a lot of that. But I think in the film, the hustling kind of becomes more of like a downward spiral. Like, his life is falling apart. Mm-hmm. And in real life, he just had a bunch of small hustles across until the day he died. The movie goes in a different direction with it, obviously, and makes it way bigger.
So after all the craziness of the movie, like, right, we have the movie practically, it's a nonstop roller coaster, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, after we get out of the shoe portion of the whole thing, like, it becomes, or after we get out of the championship, really, it becomes like a roller coaster ride. So after all this, like, past the movie, what happens to him? Does he just kind of, like, die out, or does he keep going?
Yeah, so after the movie, he does keep going in real life. Obviously, the history is kind of mixed and changed drastically, but he did buy the Riverside Table Tennis Club in 1958, and he ran that club for many years. It was kind of a cultural hub in New York City, and he kind of became a myth in the community. He did start wearing fedoras for some reason, and in 1997, he did win the U.S. Hardbat Championship. He was 67 years old at the time.
Wow.
And he did play into his 70s, so up until he died, just about, because he did die in 2012 at the age of 82. Yeah, so in real life, he just kept hustling, kept playing. Very successful, very legendary athlete at this point in time. I do want to say that most of the female characters in this movie are completely made up as well. Like, both love interests are made up. Yeah, those weren't real parts of his life at all.
Right.
Not, at least not like in the film. Those weren't something that happened to him. And he does have a book out if you want to learn more and maybe get more of the first-hand story. How much
interesting
entertainment you'll get out of that, I'm not sure. But he does have a book. And, yeah, he did kind of change the sports world in his own way. And I think this movie is going to bring the real guy back into the spotlight, I guess. Because I didn't know about... Did you know about Marty before this movie?
I didn't.
So... maybe it'll inspire a new generation of ping pong players. I mean, ping pong is still pretty popular, I guess. So,
I feel like it's one of those things, kind of like pool, where like you just have the skill in your back pocket, and if there's a ping pong table out, you go play pool.
Yeah,
or, like you go play it like pool.
Yeah, it's not like is it in the Olympics? I think it is, huh?
I think it is. Yeah,
that's crazy. I think it's fun to see, and then I do want to say, if you watch actual footage of him playing ping pong, Timothée, Mr. Timmy, did capture his play style pretty well. Like, you can see like the movements and like mannerisms are very similar. So it's very like, while it might not be like historically accurate, really, I think as far as spiritually accurate, I would say, yeah, it's very spiritually accurate.
So like out of, I don't know, maybe out of 5, how accurate are you depicting this movie?
See, I'm gonna say like a 3 maybe, and that's pushing it. Maybe a 2.5. Because like
I was gonna be around a 2.
Yeah, it's almost like they just learned about this guy, like as a myth almost.
It was like
based on it,
or inspired.
Yeah, I think it's respectful to the real guy, but I don't.
Yeah,
it's not super historically accurate.
Okay. Well, overall, this movie like really kind of. I love this type of film. Same thing with Uncut Gems, where it's just like everything that can go wrong will go wrong. But I love the character exploration, really, when it's like when a character wants something so desperately, at what length will they go to get it? And that was my main theme for this movie. It was like he's willing to do anything, and literally anything, to get his... Yeah, exactly. Kevin O'Leary spanking him.
Dude,
to get this type of respect, or... Yeah, no, never. Maybe if it was Kevin O'Leary.
No, enough not to do it.
Oh. Anyway, but I think overall, even though this movie isn't quite as true as, they say it is or try to depict it is, I think overall this movie is a roller coaster that I did not want to get off of. It is quite literally a 4.5 out of 5 for me.
I was so anxious watching this movie too. Like, my blood pressure was raised through the roof.
Yeah. The only thing I wish they would have done, just maybe a little bit more on this movie, was some more creative cinematics, I think.
Okay.
Because this does depict it in like such a bland biopic type filming, where I wanted them to do
a little bit
more.
Because they did go like,
a little bit more
off script of what a normal biopic is.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, with the CGI, especially in this, of the ping pong ball, it's pretty bad. Like, it took me out a lot of times because you. Oh, that was like a big thing because they said, Timothée was on an interview with somebody who was like, no, I was practicing table tennis like between sets of different films. Like, I would have a ping pong table. I think it was either Dune or maybe Wonka even. Wow. He's like, this movie has been in the works for a long time, and he's like, and I would bring a table tennis or a ping pong table with me to different films, and like in between he's like, I would just be practicing.
That's so funny.
I just feel like to be practicing that long and then at the end of it to really just have a CGI ball was kind of like a disservice to Timothée.
I didn't notice the CGI, but I'll have to check that out.
In a lot of the wide shots, you can tell it's pretty bad. Like, the ball just moves like pretty unnaturally.
It'd probably be kind of hard to film like an actual.
No, 100%. Like, they have to do it, but it was just like I don't know. It seemed weird to me. But even though those are like two minor complaints, the movie in general as just kind of like this. It's not a slice, but it's like kind of a coming of age, but not really. It's just like a journey story. Yeah, it's just
less sports movie, more thriller.
Yeah, practically. So I loved it. 4.5 out of 5 for me.
I agree. Great movie. Gotta watch it.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Take it away. Close us out.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, that is Marty Supreme. I don't think it's in theaters anymore, but you can rent this movie or purchase it. I think I'm going to purchase it once it goes on sale. This is a purchasable movie, and it is from our boys at 824, slamming us with another good one. They got a lot of good they got a lot of good films coming out this year, so I'm really pretty excited about that. But anyway, guys, that wraps us up for February. Now, if you are new to our podcast or our club, our book club, welcome. And if you're getting used to our format, we are doing this new thing where we do 2 themed movies a month. We're going to do a movie of the month that is currently in theaters, and we're going to do real versus real every single month. So you'll want to stick around. I think we're going to do, what is our next theme for April?
So we're going to be doing Spring Awakening, which is going to be some coming of age films.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing 2 coming of age films. Don't know which ones yet. I'm thinking mid-90s though currently, but
yeah, mid-90s is a great one. Anyway, guys, so you'll want to stick around for all of that. Thank you so much for being a part of the club, and if you haven't joined the club, join. Press subscribe right now, and we would love to have you. Let us know in the comments what you want us to review, what you thought of Marty Supreme, and what you want us to review in the future. So, guys, thank you so much. Be kind, rewind, and we will see you next week. Peace.